go through the three of us here, okay? I'll go last. Dave, you'll go first. I know we know
Uh-oh.
who's going to start, but you haven't had your chance to argue your debate on who you think or you want and believe. I think I know who it is, but I want to get you both of your perspectives, and then I've been very vocal about it, but I have my last say, my last comment. Again, not that what we say really matters because Billy gets the last call here, but it's the great debate. I knew it was going to be the Civil War debate all week long, and it's truly the last chance we get a chance to give our thoughts and opinions about it. So, Dave, the floor is yours, my man, on who should get the nod come Saturday.
Well, I think first of all, the Billy Napier needs to quit having just 6 plays in his playbook for everybody to prepare for, and that would probably help him out on game day too. But if you want to ask me, obviously you see the talent from DJ Lagway, what he did in the Samford game. A lot of people are saying, okay, well, it's only Samford. So I went ahead, I dug up some statistics on Graham Mertz versus more inferior, maybe some FCS teams from last year, compared it to the ones of Samford. I know it's a comparison. It's a small sample size, but it's all we got right now because that's all DJ Lagway has played is Samford. So, Mertz against McNeese State, 11.4 yards per attempt, one touchdown, 0 interceptions, 50 yards on passes plus 20 yards. You go to Charlotte, 20 yards per attempt, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, 3 for 3 on 84 yards on passes 20 plus. Then you go to Lagway versus Samford, 17.5 yards per average, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and he was 4 for 6 for 198 yards on passes 20 plus. There you go. You get more of the explosive factor with DJ Lagway. The only issue that you have with DJ Lagway is he's a true freshman, so he will make freshman mistakes, or at least that's what we assume. I don't think when people thought Will Grier came into Florida in 2015 that he was the underdog to Treon Harris, because Treon Harris, there was a complete night and day difference between Treon Harris and Will Grier. And Will Grier eventually won the starting job. If you ask me, the way Mertz has played just so far this year, 91 yards against the ACC's Vanderbilt, not good. Lagway came in and did 1/3 of that in like one drive. So, I mean, I think it's clear right now that DJ Lagway right now is outperforming Graham Mertz. This is just 2 games. This is just small sample size. We'll see what happens in the later part of the year. But if you were to ask me, I would ride with DJ Lagway if you really want to try to save your job right now. But at the same time, can you give Mertz another chance? Maybe it was just 1 game. It's the beginning of the season. Did you prepare him the right way for game day? Because, I mean, last year you went out and you bombed in the first game of the season against Utah. You come in the first game of the season, you bomb against Miami. I mean, Utah had a backup quarterback. Miami is the ACC's Vanderbilt. You can't even beat them. And I even said, if you can't beat the ACC's Vanderbilt, you're not going to beat many teams on your schedule. Not only did you get beat, you got blown out. So, yes, I would say stick with DJ Lagway. So that's my argument.
Okay. Cam, hey, we got 500 strong, boys and girls. Be sure to smash the like button and subscribe. We're going to pass it over to Mr. Cam Parker here. Again, we don't get the call here. Billy's not asking for our opinions, but it is a fun debate. And Cam, I mean, pass the buck to you, big guy.
First off, I had to change my audio real quick. Can you guys still hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think it's got to be DJ going forward. And again, it's not to say, I saw a tweet about this. Honestly, I think it was Blue Orange Gator, if I'm being completely honest with you. Either he retweeted it or something like that, and I was like, oh my God, that's actually a really good point. Graham Mertz didn't lose the job. DJ won it. And I think that there's a big difference there. That I don't think Graham Mertz is a bad quarterback by any means whatsoever. But the fact is that DJ can do things that he simply can't. And at this point in Billy's tenure, where it's a critical part, he is on the hot seat now. He's got to win these football games. Put the future in. He's a dynamic athlete. See what he can do. Let him go make these mistakes now, but at least it gives you a good opportunity to make some plays down the field. I could be proven wrong that maybe Graham Mertz has a good game against Texas A&M and they find a way to win. But I think that it's one bad game in a good tenure is an outlier. 2 is a habit. So if he has another bad game, it should be DJ's team the rest of the way going forward. But I do think that it's, DJ will be the starter. That's my prediction.
Whoa.
That's what I think that they should do.
Oh.
I think that he does a lot of different things that Graham can't, and Dave brought out the stats, and again, similar competition, he was much better. Graham Mertz would have beat Sanford, but he wouldn't have put up 456 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, and 6 passes of over 30 or 40 yards.
Yep.
So and then we're not even talking about the running ability, because he didn't have to run against Sanford. Graham is a willing runner, but DJ is an athletic runner. There's just so many different things that he can do, and yeah, he's probably going to go through some, have a freshman mistake here or there, but I'd rather have a freshman make a freshman mistake than a 6-year senior make a freshman mistake. At least that freshman will have room to grow and complete a 60-yard pass down the field. You know what I mean? So I think DJ should be the starter, and again, that's not to take away from Graham. I think he's a great leader, unquestioned leader of that locker room. But I think that Saturday's game against Sanford proved that DJ won the job, and if he has I don't know what it's going to look like with the rotation, but if he has a good game against Texas A&M, he should be the starter moving forward, barring a Graham Mertz record-setting day.
Yeah, let me go ahead and add before you go, Shelton, that I see some Miami fans in here. Lagway played Sanford and had 456 yards. Your boy played Florida A&M and didn't even do that well. So,
all right, Dave.
So I came into this, and I heard Dave go, and I still stuck with my guns, and then I just heard you go, Cam. And I've been on this DJ train all week long. And I've really thought about it. I've listened to multiple opinions about it. And I go, you know what? I think I'm okay with Mertz starting. But when you were just talking, Cam, I'm going to go. This is what Billy would never do. I'm going away from the playbook. I'm calling an audible. I came into this. I was sticking to my guns that I was going to say, yes, Graham should start, and then go, and here's why. But you just flipped my head. You just flipped the switch for me because you said you think he's going to start. And then I go, man, I started, and this is me emotional. This is the emotional opinion here. And I know there's people already going, this kid's an idiot. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He always uses his emotions. You're probably right. But I'm just thinking, and you kind of nailed it on the head. We know what we're going to get with Graham Mertz. Graham Mertz isn't going to come out there and blow our socks off by any stretch. It's going to look the exact same, and hopefully the offense clicks and it moves down the football field. DJ Lagway, though, can come out there and throw a 65-yard bomb to Elijah Badger, and the place would erupt and go nuts. You start DJ Lagway, the place goes nuts. The team he won the team over last week by a landslide. So it's not like there's going to be any questions or the fact that somebody's doubting him. That's going to be another factor as well. And like you said, the mistakes, I'd rather the upside and the potential of what he could do. Because look, if Graham Mertz is supposed to be this guy and Billy still believes in him, then if DJ does start to struggle, we should be comfortable falling back on Graham Mertz. I was going to use that argument in the sense like, hey, if Mertz struggles, then we go to DJ. But I almost feel like that's almost worse. Let the young guy go and let the experienced guy come in case there's needed, and he can slow things down a little bit versus the other way around, putting the freshman into a situation of like, all right, now you got to go do it. That's where my head now turned when you said that. It's like, look, when you give him the reins early on, it's like, hey, go get it done. We've got Graham Mertz here in case we need it, which we didn't have at Sanford. But now it's yours. Go confirm that it's yours. And if anything goes wrong, we got a guy that's got 6 years under his belt and come in and settle. I don't know if he'll go out there and blow anybody's socks off, but it's almost like I feel more comfortable handing it off to Mertz at that point versus the other way around. So I'm probably talking myself into the juice like I always do, and I'm going to be disappointed, and 15's going to try. Not that I'm going to be disappointed. I mean, 15's going to trot out there, and then we'll see how it plays out. But so you said you think he starts or you think he should start? There's two. That's huge, Cam.
I'll say, I think, a personal opinion, I think he should start against Texas A&M. If I had to do a prediction, I would say that by the end of the season, DJ is the starter.
I don't care about
my
that
prediction.
I'm talking about. We're talking about week 3. I agree with you.
But I think he should start against A&M. Graham, I'm not surprised that Graham Mertz is the starter. It's just the opinion of a 23-year-old, who only played high school football. So,
Distilled jersey,
it's just
though.
one man's
so
opinion.
You've got that going for you.
I do. But yeah, I think DJ should be the starter. But again, I could be proven wrong. Maybe again that performance against Miami was an outlier for Graham Mertz. You just can't let it become a habit, because as soon as it becomes a habit, it's DJ's job the rest of the way. This is a big year for Mertz too, where he's trying to prove that he could be an NFL draft pick. Not saying first round, but maybe a mid to late round, and he could carve out a short career as a backup.
Sure.
This is the Jason Marshall quote from fall camp about this being a contract year for him. It's the same for Graham Mertz. He's fighting to have a future in this sport in the NFL as well. So, he absolutely cannot have a repeat performance like he did against Miami. Granted, it wasn't entirely his fault against Miami. The entire offense was bad. I think everyone can agree on that. But him personally, 91 passing yards against a rival isn't acceptable. He has an opportunity against A&M this weekend, especially with now everyone knows what DJ Lagway can kind of do and what he brings to the table. This is a make or break performance and make or break update for him on Saturday. So
For sure.
again, Graham Mertz, I'll say this about Graham Mertz too. He plays his best when his back is truly against the wall. People counted him out at the beginning of the beginning of last season, went on to have a pretty good year. Going back to a couple of the games, people counted them out against South Carolina. He led a comeback victory. He was not the reason why they lost to LSU, why they lost to Arkansas, and why they lost to Missouri. He was the reason why they stayed in those games. So, he plays his best when his back is against the wall. Now his back is borderline touching it. We'll see what happens.
He's doing
I'm
wall
not
sits,
saying that
fam.
he's going to.
He's doing wall
Yeah,
sits.
he's right on that wall. So he could prove everyone wrong and have a good game, and the Miami game is just an outlier, but I still think that it doesn't change the fact in my eyes that I think DJ should be the starter, just because there's a little more upside to starting a guy like that. Like, if I'm a Florida fan, I would much rather go 5-7 with DJ Lagway at quarterback than Graham Mertz at quarterback.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Because at least he gets that experience, and the next season rolls around, he's ready to go as a sophomore.
For sure.
I think everyone would much rather do that, and there's more upside just as him as a quarterback. So I don't know how it's going to look on Saturday, but we'll see. But it'll be very clear after the Texas A&M game, I think, who the starter should be. So we'll see.
Go DJ.
It's going to be a fun weekend. Once again, I feel like each weekend has been the tale of, we've had storylines every weekend, which I think we knew that we would. I don't think we knew how they would go, but we knew there'd be exciting storylines, and that's where we're at right now. Cam Parker at Cam Parker25 on X. Always a pleasure, my man. Rocking the stash as always, and the mullet, kind of, sort of. Shout out to Mama Parker. We love her. Thank you, Cam, for coming on here, giving us your thoughts and opinions, man. Good to see you. Till next time, man. Be good. Go Gators, Bubba.